One win that you've had in the past 7 to 8 days. What is mine? I meal prepped like a maniac on Sunday. Oh my gosh, my fridge is stocked. When I was in Colombia, I was kind of cooking on a day-to-day, which was fine for me. I honestly enjoyed making that time for dinner, but now I had to change my gym schedule to the evening. So it's a lot easier to have obviously the meal prep. Oh my gosh, it saves so much time. So that's my win. Meal prep like a maniac on Sunday. My meal prep meals actually taste good. Love that. Definitely need that. Finding different ways. I've become a sauce girl. I think I've said this so many times. Like Trader Joe's has my heart. I got like I have hummus at the hummus, vegan tzatziki, vegan, like what is it? It's a caramelized onion dip, buffalo pesto, and like those kind of switch up all of my meals. Going to the gym yesterday when I didn't want to go. I feel you on that one. Meal prep, the cottage cheese vodka sauce. Oh, I've heard so many things about that. Cottage cheese, like using the vodka sauce for your pasta. Love that. My parents might disown me as an Italian, but that's okay. You're getting your protein, so you got to make it work. That's how my parents are. Colombians eat a lot of fried food, and I have turned all of their fried food into air fried. So not much oil. At first it was an adjustment, but I think that's a win. Maybe they'll enjoy it. Awesome. Anybody else can drop that in the chat, and then we'll get started with our lesson for today. Christine, we got a couple days left. We are doing a Spartan race, Maria Christine, on Saturday. So we'll keep everybody posted with that. I'm really excited. So excited for that. All right. Thank you. We will keep you guys posted with how that goes. It's Christine's first one. I've done a bunch. So yeah, we're really excited for that. We'll let you know. I'll record as much as I can of it. And yeah. All right, so we'll be at the next one. Yes. I want to get more people in. I know obviously it's a location thing as well for a lot of people. But I do have some Jersey people that just couldn't make it to this one. So we'll definitely get something going for the next time. There's one in July. I want to do the longer one. We'll see how this one goes, but yeah, we'll see. All right, so we'll get started. If you can see my screen, can you put a number 1 in the chat? You can see my screen, put a number 1 in the chat. All right, perfect. Got one in there. Oh, Joanne's coming in. Let me admit her into here. Perfect. All right, so let's get started. Joanne, welcome. We're just talking Spartan talk, so I'm gonna need you there in July. All right, so we are gonna get into supplements and daily vitamins. Now, I would just say at the beginning, if you guys have questions, obviously you can put that in the chat, or you can unmute yourself at any point. When it comes to this, obviously, there's so much information that goes into supplements and vitamins. I won't say that I'm 100% an expert on every single one, every single nutrient that we need, but this is kind of like a baseline of things. So if you bring one up, there's even some supplements that are even said to me, and I'm like, I have no idea what that is. But if you do have certain ones and you kind of want to let me know them, I will go on my end and kind of like do the research for you if I don't know the answers to your questions. So if I say I am not sure for a certain supplement, that's just me being honest. All right, so we're kind of just gonna get right into it today. I say this all the time, but last week, I actually didn't take that long in the call. So this will probably be a quick one. So we'll see. We're just going to get right into it. I have a bunch. I forgot how many I have in here. And I'm just going to go through them. You can take notes. You can kind of write this down. I'm going to have links for you as well if you want to get into any of these. But I just want to talk about the importance of ones that you should consider getting. And at the end, I'm going to show you how you can use a trustworthy source to find good supplements. Because like everything, like your protein powder, like your food, like literally anything, there are good quality ones and there are not so good quality ones. So we want to go for ones that are tested. We want to go for ones that actually say what they have in them is valid, right? So we'll get that in towards the end. And I'm going to start with the big one, my favorite one. And this one is also a big question for a lot of people, is creatine. So I like to say creatine is a drug, because if you've heard anything about creatine, it can kind of go both ways, and I'll get into little myths if you have any of them. But a lot of people will say like it has made them so much stronger. Some people say like it kind of makes you fat or makes you bloated. There are a lot of things about them. So what is creatine? You've heard about it before. It's a powder that you can have, and it helps you produce energy. So it is one of the most well-researched supplements in the world, right? So it is a very quality supplement, and it's one that I recommend. If you're going to get on anything, get on creatine. It's really changed things for me. But if you're a beginner, you don't necessarily have to get on it right away. It's just helpful eventually. But it has a very positive track record. So there's really not a lot of negative claims. A lot of people will kind of claim, they'll put it towards like anything, like hair loss, weight gain. Sometimes people, and very rarely, people are not responders to it. When I first got on creatine, I like bloated for like the first week, and then it just went away. But there are people that don't even notice the changes. So if you ever consider going on this, let me know and I'll kind of give you the rundown on it. It can be found in most foods, right? But a lot of these are like meat options, meat, fish, but it's also very beneficial to get more of it through a supplement. So the benefits of creatine: you produce more energy, right? This is going to help your muscles during training. So it enhances your performance, which it increases your strength. It also increases your recovery, reduces your fatigue, promotes muscle growth, because obviously if you enhance your performance, if you can now lift heavier, you're putting more attention on the muscle, and your muscle is going to grow. You're not going to become like huge. It's not a steroid. It's not nothing like that, but it does, you'll feel the significant strength right away. And something that's not talked about it is its cognitive enhancement, because your brain actually has about 5% of your body's creatine stores. So it is very, very helpful for overall brain power, right? So if we kind of want to get into that health aspect. Now, my experience with creatine is just that. The first time I had creatine, my bench went up, my squat went up, literally everything went up. Like my performance just skyrocketed. So I will definitely be somebody that's always been pro creatine. Another thing, I recently took a break off creatine in October or something. Something was making me break out. I wasn't sure what it was. So I started just eliminating things from my diet, which one being creatine. I got off of it for a couple of months. I noticed that my strength was like not really there, and I wasn't sure what it was. I got back on creatine, and phew, it was like I literally would get like finish a training session like creatine is a drug, but obviously it's a good thing. It just helps a lot. So something to consider. And again, I'll give you my link if this is something that you want to get on. If you do get on creatine, you do have to take it every day. It is something that you just take every single day because it has to be saturated in your body. All right. Another thing is fish oil, or for vegans, it's going to be algae oil. I have a question there. Is there a difference between pills or the powders? So I've actually never heard or seen the creatine pill. I'm going to assume it's just going to be the actual powder inside the pill. So I wouldn't think that there would be a difference, but that's something that I can look into. The ones that I've seen, even the ones that I kind of have linked here, they're all powdered forms. We want to take, I think it's 5 grams a day. So in terms of the powder, it's just going to be like a little scoop of whatever comes in there. But I'm going to assume if you have to take the pill, you just have to pay attention to how much is actually in there. Now, fish oil. So my suggestion is taking between 1 to 3 grams of EPA, DHA of the daily value, but you can also just make sure that you get fatty fish in your diet. So personally, when I was a pescatarian, I didn't really take fish oil because I was having a lot of like salmon, different types of fish in my diet. Whole eggs also help. If you are especially not having fish, if you are not really having eggs, if you are a vegetarian, you should definitely consider taking a supplement. The biggest thing is just making sure that we have these omega-3 fatty acids and making sure that it does say EPA, DHA on it. The benefits of fish oil. So the biggest one that always stood out to me and kind of where I felt it most was joint health. When I made that change to paying more attention to fish oil, but reducing inflammation, cardiovascular health, respiratory, immune, joint, all of these things, hormone health, brain cognition, all of these are going to have the benefits on there. Another thing, when you do take fish oil, something to pay attention to is having it with a meal, because you might feel like you're kind of burping it up. And sometimes people will think like the fish oil is bad or they're not responding to it. It's just a common thing. I've heard if you freeze it, I've never tried this, that it won't kind of have that effect, but you can try it out. Okay. Oh, also, since it is fish oil, if you do get the fish oil, putting it in the freezer or the fridge can keep it from going bad, because it does have a shelf life. So don't get one that's going to last you the entire year. That really wouldn't make sense. Now, vitamin D. So this is actually one that I've kind of gotten into even more in the research and trying to figure out how much vitamin D do we actually need, especially if you are getting a lot of sunlight. So this is going to really depend on where you live. If you live in like Seattle, or if you live in Florida, like you're going to, the Seattle person is probably going to need to supplement more from vitamin D than somebody that's always outside in Florida, right? So we definitely need this vitamin in more doses than once believed, but helps with testosterone, immune function, it boosts your strength, it can help you with your performance in the gym. It is huge for your daily energy, right? Even the pill form, if you do take a pill, I would recommend having it in the morning, right? That dose in your body is going to help give you more energy. Same thing as if you were to go outside and get some sun, you're going to feel a boost in your energy. So that's a pill that you can take in the morning. It's best if you pair it with fatty food, because it is going to bind to the fats in your diet. So having it in the morning, if you have eggs, if you have peanut butter, something, it does depend on where you live. So let me see. I put 20 minutes of direct sunlight a day. Again, it depends. If you live in a very cloudy area, that's going to be different, right? If you live where you're getting like direct sun, if you live closer to like, the equator, it's probably going to vary. One thing that I'm going to recommend is, if you really wanted to get into it, is kind of look up your particular state. So I started doing a little bit more research on New Jersey. Luckily, we do get a good amount of sunlight here. So 20 minutes of direct sunlight, you want it to be on your skin. In the winter time, also something that I recommend is making sure that you get vitamin D in your system. Most likely, if you go to the doctor, they're going to tell you that most people are deficient in vitamin D. That is 100% true. We do not get enough sunlight. But if you're somebody that goes out very, very often, you probably don't need that much. I'm going to recommend that you take 5,000 IUs. You're going to see it on there. Pay attention to the bottle, because sometimes they'll only be like 1,000 or 2,000. So you have to take more than one. Your multivitamin also might have. So 5,000 is a pretty good range to be in. Now, vitamin Bs. So these are, your body cannot make it yourself. So if you don't have it, you can feel tired. It can lead to anemia. And there are multiple vitamin Bs, and they all have different functions. There is a lot of them. So I kind of put them all here, and I'm not really going to go through all of them, right? They're all going to be kind of in the same realm. They help with energy, your metabolism, fatty acids, performance, right? A lot of different things. Amino acids, the way they break down their protein, they all have different functions. For the most part, these you can get through foods. So if you see B1, you can get it from cereal, bread, meat, rice, nuts. We got cheese, eggs, milk, peas. So all of these foods, if you're having a well-balanced diet, you're probably getting enough. mushrooms, egg yolks. Again, if we continue to just have different variety in your diet, you're probably getting enough of this. However, the one that you're probably not getting enough from, I just said all of that, is vitamin B12, especially if you are a plant-based queen. So you need 100% to supplement with this, because this is going to come from animal products, milk, poultry, eggs, meat, liver. You're not having any of those. And this is going to be huge for the maintenance of your nerve tissues. It is going to be used for the metabolism of fats, carbs, energy, metabolism, cell generation. It can be in some soy products and breakfast cereal. However, it has to be added to that. So if it doesn't say it on the box, it probably doesn't have. And again, vegans have to really, really pay attention to this. You're really not going to notice much of a change. Even for myself, for a while, I really wasn't paying attention to vitamin B. Now that I've kind of done a little bit more research on it, you won't notice something now, but it can be something where, like, okay, 5 years from now, if you've been deficient for vitamin B, it can have potential risk on your health. So these are just a couple of options for you and how much doses you can take on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. And then also having it from foods. If you're having milk, if you're having animal products, you're probably good. But for the most part, vegans definitely get B12. And we'll get into magnesium. So I would say this one's great, especially because you guys are so active. And if you drink caffeine, this one kind of killed me, actually, the fact that caffeine depletes your magnesium. So that one got me really upset, because if you're having a cup, if you're having 2 cups a day, you're depleting your magnesium. And if you're not supplementing with that, right, maybe we're not getting enough. It is found in the muscle, soft tissues, and body fluids, and it plays a huge part in muscle contraction and also reduces fatigue and muscle cramps. Go into here. So this particular one, I would recommend having before bed. It is great for your recovery. So if you do have it kind of, I've been separating my pills between like the morning ones and the evening ones. So this is one that might even help you sleep. We can get 400 milligrams a day. If you have that written down, you're going to get this access to this as well. So if you want to write this down later, you can always come back to the information that is there, or you can always reach out. You can take too much of it, and if you do, you might get the shits, just as a fair warning from the research. And you can also get it from food, so you don't necessarily have to, but you can supplement. So if you're getting leafy greens, if you're getting nuts, seeds, fish, beans, whole grains, avocados, yogurt, bananas, dark chocolate, a lot of these you might be getting enough, but it can be something to just pay attention to. Are you getting enough magnesium rich foods? There are not so many more. There's a couple more, so bear with me here. We're going to talk about vitamin C. So this is another one. If you do not have these things in your diet, definitely recommend. It is an antioxidant, so it's going to help fight off many things and boost your immune system. When you train hard, 100%, we need this because our body is always working on our recovery. So it's required for growth, for repairing the tissue, and it's needed to form collagen. And this is a major key for building new muscle, stronger bones, and better tendons. So it is basically like a golden vitamin, but you can get it from foods. So if you're having a lot of these foods, odds are you probably don't need more vitamin C. So bright colored fruits, this is probably why, like you've heard before, you probably have heard me say, like, have variety, switch up the colors that are in your diet, right? Have different colors on your plate. Oranges, strawberries, guavas, cherry, different bell peppers, they're all different colors. Different vegetables. If you, again, have these and you're having these on a day-to-day, if you're having like an orange a day and you're having peppers and tomatoes, probably don't need to supplement with with vitamin C. But if you're not, or if you're like, it's a little bit too acidic for you and your body doesn't respond too well, you should probably get some vitamin C. And probiotics, which we talked about not last week. I don't know why I was about to say that. We talked about a couple calls ago. This is going to be the good bacteria in your gut. These are foods that you should get them from. If you're not having these kinds of foods, odds are you might need some probiotics. I think even yogurts, kimchi was supposed to be a different bullet, but probiotics. There are, if you look for the probiotics, and I will show you, again, these are just for positive gut health. So good gut bacteria in your gut. If you do get them, you're going to see that there's like strands like 100 billion, 10 billion, 50 billion. That's the one that I get, right? We want it to be strong. You don't need a super, super, super strong one. So yeah. Collagen. So I personally do not take collagen, but I have thought about it. So this is great for your connective tissue. Where you have heard it is it's great for your skin, your hair, your nails, and your joints. So the example that I got was kind of like, think of this, and this is why you might have heard that you should take this as you get older for, again, your skin, hair, nails, for just your connective tissue. Think of it as a scaffolding here. So once you first set it up, it's fresh, it's good, it doesn't move, all the bolts are like perfect. And then over time, things just start to get a little rusty. So it's important to, over time, make sure that we are having collagen. So at first, again, it's fresh, it's new, but then it's not so sturdy. So as we get older, our production of this does tend to slow down, so we can incorporate collagen into our diet. You can get the protein version of this. So there is a protein powder that will have collagen if you want to take it. There's so many different types of protein. So that's an option that you can have. Or I've even heard like people add it to like their drinks, and it kind of like their coffee, and it adds a little bit of like a milky flavor. The issue with this is I don't know too much about like the vegan versions of this, and I don't know if they even have it. So I have to do a little bit more research on that. But yeah. And then multivitamins. So the thing with a lot of these vitamins too is you don't need them in such a high dose. So I'll give you an example for zinc. Zinc was like, especially my dad was like, you should supplement with zinc, take zinc all the time. And then I started doing a little bit more research on it, even like vitamin C's or just different vitamins, vitamin B's. You don't need so much of a dosage. So a multivitamin is kind of going to clean that up for you. And if you get, for example, your own zinc supplement, the amount that's actually in there is probably going to be too much, and you don't need that unless obviously your doctor tells you that you do. So I like to have a multivitamin so I can get these things, zinc, iron, even my vitamin C. Some of them will have a little bit of vitamin D or like different things in there to kind of like clean it up. Superfoods are another example of this. If you're not getting a variety of vegetables and fruits in your diet, if you're kind of like again, we do want to put food as a major priority, but if you're not getting it, or you just want to make sure that you're getting all of the vitamins that you need, having a superfoods, having a multivitamin in your diet can help. If you do have a superfoods, I used to have them. Personally, I don't do it anymore, but I know a lot of people that will have it in the morning and it'll make them kind of feel good. It kind of puts you in a position where like you're having something so nutritious that it also helps you make better decisions throughout the day. So it can be something to consider. But again, they are not a crutch. It's not like, oh, I'm taking vitamin C, I never have to eat an orange or fruits, or like I'm taking vitamin D, I don't need to go outside and get sun. Like, no, we don't want to do that. It is just to make sure that we are getting enough of the vitamins that we need. So something that I will recommend to you is always just making sure, how can I keep my diet as diverse as I can? This is difficult even for myself, because how are we possibly going to get peppers and carrots and broccoli and like these potatoes and sweet potatoes and like all of these million colors on a weekly basis? It's difficult, and I understand that. So personally, what I like to do is when I do my meal prep, I get like different colors of vegetables and fruits. And also on a weekly basis, you can change them up. So last week, I kind of got like peppers. This week, I'm going to go for Brussels sprouts. So kind of just keeping a variety, not day to day. I don't expect you to have a different color, every single color of vegetable and fruit every single day. But can we switch it up on a day to day? And if not, can we switch it up on a weekly basis? I always like to, every single time I go to the grocery store, I go on Sundays to get something new. So this time, it was super simple. I got like a watermelon and I got edamame recently. So how can I keep these nutrients kind of like cycling through? And also like seeds can also be a good thing. Flax seeds, hemp seeds. So just paying attention to how can I just add more to my meals? I've said this like a million times. When we think of dieting, when we think of all of these things, we're never told to add more, but I would rather your meals have a bunch of different like ingredients, have like a lot of love in them, because that's where you're really getting your nutrients. Yes, macros can get you the physique that you want, but if you want an overall healthy life and you want to have the energy, right, we need to pay attention to your micros as well. So add some seeds, get some sesame seeds, add some flax seeds to your oatmeal. You're not even going to notice that they're there. Add some, I've been doing hemp seeds as well. Change up the vegetables that you're doing. Like just make sure that we are having that variety. If you are a meat eater, add in some salmon. It's great for the fish oil, right? So just a tip. Now, lastly, what I will get into is the website that you can use in order. So let's say you find these supplements, or you even want to see if the supplements that you have are good. So you're going to go to labdoor.com, right? I don't know why it's called that. Labdoor.com. On labdoor.com, you're going to see here that you can basically check for any supplement here. So for example, if I want to get, let me see, like a fish oil, this is going to rate them and it's going to give you the top rated ones. So they do like lab tests on them. When you go, it'll say how much it claims to have, how much it actually has. So in here, you'll be able to find that. If I've recommended like creatine, I don't know if it's still here. Yeah, so this is the one that I've recommended. So I found this brand, MyProtein. I've recommended the actual protein powder and the creatine because it's rated on here. So some of them will have like an actual rating. And then again, on the bottom, it says what it actually has on it. You can also search your protein on here, or like your supplements on here. So like, I don't know, they're not all on here, by the way. So like I just checked Ghost and it's not on there. All right. So if you want to check your brand, if it's not here, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad brand. However, if you don't know, if you're like starting off with a supplement and you don't know which ones to get, just go to the rankings, find one that's pretty well ranked, make sure you check the price for it. If you have something, when I first found this site, I checked the protein powder and it was ranked like a C. When I can buy something for the same price that's ranked an A, that it's a lot better quality in its protein powder. So it could be something just to kind of like snoop around. They're not all on here, but you can pay attention. Or you can just try to check it out. And I have also links to the ones that I have. So my creatine, I just got algae oil. All of these are going to be like Amazon Inc. links. If you want any of these, I didn't put B12 or magnesium because the ones that I have are from Colombia. So I can't really give you that. But when I do need them, I'm going to go on labdoor.com and just pick one from there. If you want any of the links that I have, if you want to just save yourself a step, I can send you whichever ones. These are all of the ones that I'm taking right now. And we'll see, all the ones that I'm taking right now. And yeah, that is it. So I gave a lot of information there, but those are kind of like the main ones that I have right now. I need to get a vitamin C now that I remember I finished mine. And as usual, remember that food is love and strength is power. Do we have any questions? I hope I did not completely overwhelm you with that, but I might have. I like to nerd out sometimes. And then I realized that some of you just want to be told which vitamins to take, and that's okay. But I would rather you know a little bit of why you should take certain things. Any particular questions? Do we need any links? I can drop them really quickly in the chat. I've gotten the question of BCAAs before too. You probably don't need them. They're going to be found in your foods. I took BCAAs for a long time, honestly, because it tasted good. And I liked the way that it tasted. It was like a Gatorade during my workouts, but you don't really need them. Pre-workouts. You can also go on labdoor.com and look for pre-workout. I personally don't take pre-workout. It's not my thing. It's never been my thing, but you can find that on there. Do we have any questions on anything other than this lesson? Any questions, anything that's come up during the week in the gym, in terms of food, anything completely off topic? So you can let me know. You can drop it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and then we will kind of wrap this up. All right. I'll take that as you're either overwhelmed and you want me to send you the links to all my vitamins, or the information was good. All right. So we will wrap this up, and we are doing a self-love month. No, a self-care month, So I've been stretching so much because of this month. So self-care month. Took myself on some dates with some friends, which I haven't really been going out of my way for, been going really slow in like my skincare routine. So in the chat, what is your self-care that you are going to do as your big weekly one? Are you taking yourself on a date? Are you going to have like a me day and clean your room? Are you going to go hiking? Are you going to buy yourself a meal? Are you going to go buy yourself flowers? What is going to be one self-care thing that you are going to do this week? I actually didn't do my self-care of the day, so I have to do that later. I'm not going to count my daily walks as one because I do them all the time. Getting my nails done tomorrow. Love that. Buy myself flowers. Yes. Been doing that every time at the grocery store. Always got to have fresh flowers. Taking the time to actually style my hair. I love that for you. That's the reason that I cut mine off, but I love that for you. And taking time for myself. Yes, on the weekend. Love that. Much needed. Having a girls' night. Oh, I love that. Yes, self-care can also incorporate other people. Hanging out with a friend that you just makes you feel good, but you haven't made time for them. It doesn't have to be by yourself. It doesn't have to be a self-date, but it can be something. So I like that you mentioned that. Awesome. All right, so we'll wrap it up there. If you guys need the links to anything, send me a message and I will get those to you probably tomorrow. So just send me a message. I will also post a link to this call, and yeah, then we will go from there. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you soon.